I wish there was a way I could figure out how to change some of these default settings, because 9 is too small of a default for anything. That's what you call that fine print when you read on the instructions and stuff. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Digital Paul Workshop. It is I, that piece of paint that splattered on your shirt, Techno Meow Tinkerer. And today we're just going to go through a time lapse of me working in Krita photo editor, and this is me doing some of the designs for my channels. Nothing really much, just a little bit of text manipulation. And as we watch the video here, there we go. I just imported these backdrops I created using Automatic 1111, and I kind of want to get a kind of a neon sign look going on. And when I was trying around with Automatic 11, I could not get the text to appear like I've watched in some of the videos. I don't understand why I cannot duplicate what I'm seeing on these videos. Is there some sort of thing that I'm missing, a setting on it? But I am going to go here in Krita and add the name of my channel to the backdrop here. Oh yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but when I would use the eyedrop tool to get the color, and then I switch to the text or something else, it will flip back to the color that I originally had. No, I want the blue. So I figured I'd go in this that way. I would no, it still set it back. I was trying to figure out how to get it to select. And I never had that problem before, not with any other program anyway. This thing's the first time I've done it. So what I do, guess what? Create a box using the color, and then switch back to using, just delete that layer to finally get it to take. For some reason, I don't know why it did not want to take and kept wanting to switch back. I wish there was a way I could figure out how to change some of these default settings, because 9 is too small of a default for anything. That's what you call that fine print when you read on the instructions and stuff. I mean, default for most documents is somewhere between 10 and 12 size fonts. And this is me kind of looking through my fonts list. I don't think I added any fonts. I think these are all the ones that just came with the different programs and stuff. And I know years ago I added a bunch of fonts. I still actually got an old CD, like over 2,000 fonts. I'm trying to figure out what one. We'll go with the sci-fi, because I figure something that is sans serif would be better than something with serifs. Novelty fonts, depending upon the novelty. Script would not probably work, not that well with neon. I kind of wish, and I forgot about it, but I had actually downloaded a program to let me print all my fonts out onto a PDF file. And I probably should have gone and see where that file was at and looked through it that way, because I kind of wanted something. I would like to have something that was closer to like the neon light tubing, but I went with this because this one seemed kind of digital. It seemed kind of sciencey. Yeah, that's the thing, is you have to save and then close out the window to go in and mix. That is one thing, and that's the issue here. Like, you would think with save that it would automatically close the window out, or I don't know. It would be nice though if you could have a way of actually have that up and kind of do some manipulation without having to keep closing and opening the window. Now, yeah, right here I had to go in because for some reason the spacing was off, and I don't know why why don't they just go ahead and adjust the spacing when you change the font size, but for some reason it don't. And what's weird is in that the Paul was on the G of the digital, but and this thing it was a W that was on the G, so it was weird how that was working out. I could have probably done it this way as well, just originally. Yeah, for some reason when you select the item, you have to go and click on the text beside it to actually activate so you can do the adjustments. I don't understand. I would think if you selected the check mark, if I'm not the one who designed the program. So for me, it don't quite make much sense. And yeah, I'm trying to do that whole glowing text now. So like with everything else, you got to try to fit in and figure out what it goes, because between opacity, noise, spread, size, it is kind of interesting how each one of these affects it differently. And I've actually sat here and I was trying to play around with the different colors, trying to see if I can get it to look as closely as I can to like neon lights. Part of I did some more research than what I originally did, because I had to go back and actually look up how to do this, because it's been a while since I actually edited text like this in Krita or Krita. Yeah, trying to figure out how it works best. Because some neon lights, what I'm thinking about, some neon lights is almost like a white center glow, and then the color emanates from the white. At least on some designs I've seen. I don't remember if that's actually how the real light works. And since I'm trying to base it off of the actual neon that the AI generated. Oh yeah, I see the W touching the G again. I think that's the spread of the or the size. I think it might be the size under elements. It kind of is looking at it glow, but it doesn't look like, still on that dark blue just doesn't really work. Okay, I gave a little bit more spacing between the lines, and I think I went back. Yeah, I went back to more of a lighter blue. There, keep it quite from touching. Now that kind of looks a little bit more better, like it's a neon sign. Still not where I actually want it. But this is what I went with. I'm trying to remember if I actually looking at the file itself. I'm still doing some. Nope, that's too much of a fuzz. That's too noisy. Now the noise would be good probably for something if you're doing like on a screen, like an old CTR television. That would make sense. Ooh, that makes it think you need glasses. But I haven't quite figured out where having all those that noise will come in handy, other than maybe, like I said, a CTR television. Now that's kind of looking a little bit better, although I see a little bit of a glow around the stuff. I might sort of tried creating this in Blender. I might actually do that in the future. Create the neon lettering in Blender and just use the cyberpunk theme backdrop. That might be actually a project to create this whole scene in Blender. Yeah, I kind of think I left the I kind of gotten away from the neon glow now, because I'm like, okay, I kind of like this working. It's not really neon glow anymore, but it is kind of like a lettering with a unique glow around it that's changing the colors. And so I think this is part of what I think I went with. Now the picture I used was originally JPEG. That's why I'm going in here and I'm switching it to a Krita file. That's not the Krita file I wanted. A Krita. I don't know why I want to call it Krita, but the Krita document. That way I can always come back and edit this. There was an autosave file. I didn't realize, but I forgot the first rule of computers: save and save often. But I don't think it really didn't feel like I worked on it that long. Part of it was me more playing around than anything else. Yeah, I'm saving now as I think it's a PNG file, and I put the text because I don't want it to be confused with the other file that's just a plain background. And that's in case I have to switch it, and that's mainly because if I ever have to switch it from PNG to JPEG again, if I need to use it that way, it won't overwrite the original file. Okay, there we go. I've copied and I'm pasting the text in. That way I don't have to go through and readjust all that stuff. I just got to move it now. Don't ask me why it did not paste into center. Although I can understand me having to be pasted at different sizes. All I did for this banner. And I think this one's for the Rumble side. I went through and I looked at for what you kind of need as far as imagery sizes for different parts. And so I'm creating one set for Rumble and one set for YouTube. And because this one is not quite as tall, I've had to reduce things down. Now I think one of the issues I had, and I can see it right now, is right there behind the A and at the bottom of the G there, you kind of lose the lettering. And so I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to do some coloring in the back, just simple. Just change down the opacity. Something to actually just darken the image behind the lettering so you can kind of see it a little bit better. Although the G is still struggling. Just go in and use the transform tool. Because it's really kind of making a lot of the other detail look kind of washed out or fuzzed out. And just adjusting the opacity. There, the G looks a little bit better. You can read the G better now. But you see, I still got some of that. You can see where the lines of the that layer is at. But right now I'm going to save. Not making the same mistake twice and wait until the tail end to save. But now I went and exported before I realized, hey, wait a minute, I need to fix those little lines I see. And I just hit, it's still going up to the top for the transform. I hit Control T. Let's see if I can't blend. That's one thing I haven't figured out quite yet, is how to fully blend stuff. Now, there is a gradient blend tool, and I kind of know how to use it. But the one thing I find weird with Krita, and I don't think I've ever had it before with, well, at least the Photoshop version I was using was Photoshop 5. That's how old, not CS5, 5. But I'm really trying to remember. I don't think Krita, when I use the eyedrop tool, if there's any layers behind the layer I'm working on, it selects around different objects in those layers, and that's not what I want. So I have to hide those layers to use the eyedrop tool to select a certain area. And I don't think in my past, I don't think I ever had that issue in Photoshop. And like, I am not working on that layer. Why are you selecting objects on that layer? Redo. And I think for the most part, I pretty much got it, the edge pretty well hid. Nope, I pretty much got it well hid at the time. And this is just something to get me started. Like I said, I'll probably go back in later and when I get better at some of the stuff and update my graphics. It's nice to have a new look every so often. But this is just a simple little adding some text to a background in Krita, and just doing a few effects and for anybody who's using this program and want to know how to add effects to text, well, there's one way to add at least the glows, the shadows, that sort of stuff. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this. If this was useful or helpful, or you think it could be useful or helpful for anyone, please share it. And if you want to help the channel, please like and subscribe. Have a nice day.
Yeah.